Man, don't you hate it when you lose your keys? What's up, everybody? It's the Hot and Fuzzy again. Excited to bring you another gun review. I know it's been a really long time, but we got a really cool piece of hardware for you today. This is the JTS M12AK. It's a 12 gauge AK style shotgun. They're made in China. The company's been around since the 90s. This model itself has been around for a few years, and what stands out to me about this thing is you can get them all day long for under $350, around the $330 range. They have two models of this thing. This one, which is the base one, you can get this thing for right around $330. And they have one model that's a little bit more expensive, and it's got M-lock rails on the front and everything. But what stands out to me is they're basically a Vepr clone. I mean, they're really similar. A lot of times they'll use the same magazines. What differentiated me with this when I saw it in the gun shop was I saw they had a line of a bunch of AK style shotguns, and this one had a 4-point adjustable gas system on it. And a lot of the Segas and Veprs and stuff like that, they have 1, 2, or none at all. And sometimes they're finicky. People have to bring them into gun shops and get them worked on. And I was looking at this thing compared to the price of the other ones, and I was like, I've always kind of wanted an AK shotgun anyway, and now the Veprs and stuff have gotten expensive. So after thinking about it, I picked this one up and shot a couple hundred rounds through it of various things. And I have to say, I like it so far. What we're going to do with it here today is we're going to run it through its paces. I'm going to shoot a variety of different ammunition out of it, and we're just going to see how it runs on the different settings and see how accurate it is to a degree. We're going to shoot handicap birdshot loads. We're going to shoot regular birdshot, double-aught buck, and slugs, and just see how it cycles all of them. I got some wild, unique targets over there. So let's get started. Have some fun. All right, so we're out here at the range. Got some wild targets set up. A couple things I didn't mention before. This has standard AK style sights, although they are kind of marked a little bit differently. They're marked in just regular yardage. You can actually interchange the rear stock with many other AK style stocks. It just takes a little adjustment or a little adapter plate. One thing that's notable is that it has a flared magwell, a lot like Veprs do. And that was like the one wild thing to me was when I first picked it up, I thought it was a Vepr, and I looked on the side and it says JTS made in China. And that's one thing to know about these things is they are made in China, but they actually seem to be built pretty well. I mean, I'll show you here really quick, show that it's clear. We are, of course, on a closed range today. It has the uplifting receiver like an RPK does, and it's almost like a machine gun style receiver. It's not a machine gun, obviously, but it's a machine gun style receiver, and it's really rugged. I mean, it's milled one piece, and that's pretty wild to me that it's built that way. But what we're gonna do here, we're gonna take a few shots at our targets. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run some handicap loads, because that's like we're gonna start weakest going all the way up. This is handicap 7.5 birdshot estate loads. And we got these 10-round magazines here. This thing actually ships with 2 5-round magazines, but I ordered these off the internet. You can get these for about 40 bucks on the internet. And as of the time of making this video, these are still plenty well available. So, you know, get them while you can, I'd say. So, but we're gonna take these handicap loads and see if they cycle in this thing. I'm gonna set it to the highest setting, and we're gonna see how far they eject out. So we're gonna take some shots at our sodas here. We got 10 rounds loaded up. Just gonna annihilate some stuff, probably hit the plate. Let's do it. That's it. It cycled all of them well, and they ejected out. I mean, not super far, but I mean, that's good. That's good for me. So that seems to have worked all right. And this thing has interchangeable chokes in it, which is pretty nice. You can get different chokes for it, just like you can in any other shotgun. And I guess you could, if you got small enough magazines, maybe technically hunt with it. I don't know, but the price point of these things anyway just makes them a crazy range tool, I think. Like, even if you wouldn't trust your life to this thing, it's a neat range toy anyway. Okay, next up, we're gonna take some 7.5 birdshot. I think that we'll shoot our jugs there. They're full of some Kool-Aid. Maybe get some good colors going. And I think I'm gonna cock it back this time, lock it. Because I've found with a lot of AK style shotguns, this is the most reliable way to actually load it and make sure that it feeds all the way, because certain different lengths of shells can be finicky. This thing will shoot 2.5 inch shells and 3-inch full length shells, but it won't shoot 3.5 or anything like that. It won't even go into magazines or whatever. So that's just one thing to know about these things. But I think our 7.5 birdshot here, see if this loads. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, let's see if we can make a mess here. Now that is beautiful. Everybody always tells me I have a crazy laugh in my videos, but that's just the pure joy I get from that smell of gunpowder and seeing it, just being able to do this. I love living in America. All right, well, a couple of those survived here. I think for our next one, what we're gonna do, we left it set all the way up to the highest gas setting, number 3, for the last couple of rounds. I think I'm gonna set it to 2 because these double-aught buck rounds are loaded a little hot, and we'll see how it loads. The way you actually, I'll show this up close real quick. The way you actually change the gas setting on this is you push down and you turn it, and that's all the way off. You have 1, 2, and 3, and this down point is where your point is. So we'll take that, we were on 3, and we'll move it to 2. And we'll see if that cycles these higher power double-aught buckshot shells. Feels really good to be doing a gun review again, guys. I know people have been wondering where I've been, what I've been doing, but it feels good to be back. We'll see what some of these buckshot shells do. Hopefully they'll cycle in this setting. Kind of just seeing what it'll do. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Oh. Now that's got a little bit more power to it. That's got some thump. Oh. Yeah, we're already throwing quite a bit of shells on the ground. This is a fun day so far. Okay, so figure for the last one to go around, we got some tornado slugs. I think these are Turkish slugs. I mean, I've got a Turkish shotgun and it seems pretty good, my Emperor, so pick these things up. They were cheap. I'm gonna see how accurate this thing is. That plate's about 20 yards away. I'm gonna see if I can hold a decent group on it and just see if we can, maybe possibly, keep them on the plate, see how accurate this thing is. I'm gonna do a tactical AK style reload here, see if we can on this paddle here. Oh yeah. Let's close out this video right here. I think we have about blown our plate to pieces. Everything is destroyed. We have made a massive mess. But it cycled everything that we shot today flawlessly. So I only actually had a few malfunctions out of this thing when I first got it, and I think that was just getting it opened up, getting it broke in. I mean, the first time I shot it, I was shooting some pretty old birdshot loads, switched over to some regular stuff, and it worked fine. So, I mean, for what they are, I mean, in the price range, it seems to be pretty good. I mean, if you want a semi-auto shotgun that's not really you're going to use for hunting or something like that, if you want a range toy, something that when you go up to the range, people are going to instantly be like, whoa, what's that thing? That looks like an AK, but it's huge. And that's the one thing I've gotten from taking this thing to the range. And it's just a wild range toy. I don't know if I trust my life to it necessarily over my AR or whatever that, but I like it. So, and it seems decently accurate. So, and one neat thing about the magazines on these things is, like, before I close out, I want to talk about the magazines here. You can actually, like, I've heard, like, you can, where these magazines have this cut on them, like if you just had these 10-round magazines and say you ever had to move to a state where you weren't allowed to have the 10-round capacity magazines, because in this state, you know, you're allowed to have them, whatever, but some states you're not allowed to even have 10 rounds in a shotgun. So you can cut these down, and you can actually take these, cut them with a bandsaw, and make them, slide that plate off the bottom. Here, and you can actually take a bandsaw, cut that, slide this plate off the bottom, take the spring out, and slide it back on there, and then slide the spring back in. But okay, so the bottom line is, I like this thing for what it is. It's pretty cool. I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been really fun out here filming today. Like and subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. It makes me moist. I also have a Patreon set up for the channel, so you guys can check that out. Patreon.com/thehotandfuzzy. My pledges start at just $1. You can check that out. I'm also back up on all my social media again. Instagram. My Instagram is back up, Hot and Fuzzy. You can go to www.facebook.com. Follow me on there for live video updates and stuff like that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good day. I'm the Hot and Fuzzy, and the myth that the JTS Chinese M12AK is a piece of junk is busted. There was no point to that. I've just always wanted to do that.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad.